Welcome to this video which looks at tracking down the source of RIAA copyright notifications. My name is Darragh Delaney, I'm Head of Technical Services here at Netfort. First up, let's take a look at a RIAA notification. So this is an example here I found. Just Google RIAA notifications, you'll find examples on the internet. And scroll down, it's got an introduction here, talks about an unauthorized copy of, looks like a movie here, True Blood. The IP address, but let's go down to the actual detail. This really interesting information is. So it's this is the work, so it's a movie. You got date and time. So this is information we need to use. We've got an IP address. You got a port. BitTorrent is used, an info hash. Now you can search whatever network monitoring tool you have. You can use some of this information to do a search. You could use the IP address and port number. That may be able to identify who on your network is doing the download. Although IP addresses can be reused with DHCP, and port numbers are always being reused by operating systems, so it may be able to track it down, but it's no guarantee. If you do track it down to a user, it's no guarantee it was them. The most useful piece of information here is this info hash value, because this is unique to this video. So this is generated when the file was uploaded. They aren't duplicated. They're absolutely unique for this download. So you right click, we can copy this, and let's see if we track down who was doing the download. So I go over here to my LandGuardian system. It's running here on my network. And to track it down, we just go into the report name here. So just type in BitTorrent. Let's get the report. So we go for search by info hash. And we can select the time period. So in that notification, okay, it was an old one example I found, it was back to 2008. So you would just select, you don't have to be exact, a couple of days around when that what date is in the notification. Let's say don't need to be too exact, just somewhere around that time. I'm going to look at my network over 24 hours. In the info hash search here, we put in that value, that alphanumeric value. We go view and see can we track it down. So we have lots of hosts associated here. But the first one on the list is a local machine. I could have actually put in a subnet as well, just a local subnet, just to narrow it down a bit more. Because obviously PCs involved with this will connect to PCs externally to exchange data, so I want to just limit it to the LAN here. So it's tracked it down here to a local machine, got the host name as well, we've got the info hash, and if we click on it, actually it'll resolve as well, which is useful, because in this case we can see somebody's downloading Linux. Okay, it's not the one in the notification, it's just a test I did here earlier on. So it is the most accurate way to search your network, is to search based on that info hash value. Another point as well around BitTorrent, so it's part of to set up this video, I did a download of Linux earlier on. It was a fairly large file, but what I noticed is it really eats bandwidth, because my network here this is my internet pipe, it was running fine. Then I did the download, activity shot up, pretty much maxing out my 8 megabit connection here. And I can see in the detail the ported or the traffic here. So it's 800 megabyte file, add those two up, it's about right. So it does create huge volumes of data, and this download just took a couple of minutes, and it maxed out my link. So not only is it a problem for my getting notifications, but if you're managing a network and users are using BitTorrent, it'll really eat up your bandwidth. If you want to get the LandGuardian installed in your network so you can monitor BitTorrent activity, it's quite a simple process. Firstly, go to our website, www.netfort.com, where you can download a free trial of our software. Install it onto a physical or virtual machine. You need to have 2 network cards. One of them plugs into your core switch, normally where we plug in, because that is usually where the internet connection is terminated. The internal interface of the firewall or proxy server is usually located at that point. Set up a span port on your core switch and monitor port mirror the internet pipe, internet connection. The second interface here shown is management port. That can also plug into the core switch, although you can plug that in. It doesn't really matter where that plugs in. It's just used to connect to the LAN Guardian. And that's your monitoring system up and running. Just leave it running because with historical database, it captures the data you need. And you can go back then and do search on info hash values or IP addresses and see what's happening on your network.